Okay, first cut. Something that I've posted on a couple of sites. I figure sometimes you have to actually hear someone say it to you before it sinks in. So, excuse me if I skip, fumble, or stumble through my sentences. I'm kind of long-winded, but you'll see why. Topic of this discussion is cooperation on a global scale. We're all people. We all live here. Why can't we do it? Question mark. Why can't all of our governments agree to just forgive each other's debts, as well as the debts of their citizens, lower taxes considerably, and use them for things they were intended for? Welfare for the sickly, the unstable, not the lazy throwbacks and the system abusers. Now, I know that there are a lot of legitimate people on Social Security and welfare, but the real thing is we don't have enough workers working right now. We don't have enough laymen. We don't have enough journeymen. We don't have enough petty peon laborers. And we don't have enough to pay them because all of our money is getting sucked out of our wallets. And we are getting less and less back for it. Off topic. Our government needs to stop legalizing and illegalizing things. That's not what they are there for. That's not what they're supposed to be doing. Their job is to make sure no one else threatens our rights. No one else tells us what we can and cannot do inside of our borders. You are supposed to be protecting our liberty as free people. Have you forgotten that? The oaths you swore. One nation under God. Doesn't matter whose God you support or worship. One nation under God. Whatever force you believe in. The freedoms that we hold in this country, the First Amendment, allows us the freedom to believe whatever we wish. And with that, the responsibility to be tolerant and accepting of everyone else's beliefs, no matter what you may think of them. Off topic, once again. Like I said, you'll see why. I think you have forgotten it, though. I think that you've forgotten that we are the people that elect you. Because you have all the money, and you think that you have all the power, and that is not the case. We are the people. We are the citizens of this country, and we elect you. No matter what barriers you have in place, we have inalienable rights as human beings, as American citizens, as patriots and revolutionaries. Because we are human beings, these rights are ours, not because you tell us that we have these rights. That's just a nice pat on the back for something we were born with. It is not up to you to dictate our rights to us. There is not a man or woman on the Hill, Capitol Hill, Washington, D.C., that is not guilty of treason. With every bill that they have passed and every law they've put on the books, they were guilty of treason. They are overpaid and overfed in a city racked with poverty and despair. And the taxpayers pay for it. This needs to stop. Government positions are part-time positions held by people who have morals and the welfare of their citizens at heart, which ours clearly do not. We all need to forgive each other globally as a community and focus on rebuilding our lives that have been racked with debt, ruled by debt. We are slaves to it on every level. We waste our entire lives working to pay someone else. And it doesn't matter where you are in the government or how much money you have. That's a trap. You never have enough. Which is why Which is why gutless slime allows bills to be passed that is going to put food on the market into the hands of desperate people paying far too much for the right to feed themselves. Food is a necessity for human beings. So is water. So is health care, shelter. These are things that we are charged a premium for in our lives. We are the only species in the world that pays to live on this planet. We have opposable thumbs, and we have the ability to speak and communicate our thoughts, work together, and yet we don't. We do everything but that. We sit on our couches and in front of our TV screens and our computer monitors and in front of our iPhones, avoiding human contact at all costs, because IMing, texting, it's so much easier than being around another person. We are so distracted by the new toys that are just hopped up versions of old things. The combustion engine has been obsolete for decades, decades and decades, long before my time. The rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer. We've elected into office twice an illegal alien, someone who is not fit or even by the standards set forth 200 years ago, legal to be where he sits in his seat of power. He has done nothing but warmonger and try to play big brother to the world. He has killed children and women. He has fed crackheads and heroin addicts alike. He is by far the worst possible effect that could have happened to this country. And we created him. This country and its actions created the opinions that shaped his life. Now it's time we take responsibility for that. We impeach him. We take all of the people off of the Hill. We execute their contracts. Make them jobless. Let them get real jobs. Close down all of the private sector on militarization. Close down the Department of Defense. Close down the Department of Homeland Security. Close down all of the quasi-militarized programs the government has running, just as a show of good faith to its citizens, that it's not trying to create a massive police state. It's not trying to take us into a Marxist era. No. Our good president would do that, would he? Oh, did I say he would? And furthermore, if you believe that Barack Obama is your friend, if you believe that anything you see on TV is going to help you in your life, be ready to burn when they all show their true colors. Because while you've been watching your daytime TV, they've been stripping our Constitution. Your First, Second, and Fourth Amendment rights, they're primary targets, but eventually he's just going to say that the Constitution itself is unconstitutional and executive order it out of existence. What you can do, start by getting onto some independent news sources and information sources and finding out what our government is really up to. Decide for yourself. Don't let a squawk box tell you what to think. Learn for yourself. Educating yourself is the first step. The more people we have that educate themselves, the more people that we have that come into the knowledge of what is going on behind the facade they are fed every day of their lives, the sooner we have a chance of taking back our lives, taking back our world, and healing the damage. The only thing that our government is good for is taking things from other people. We spend our entire lives paying them taxes on every dollar we ever earn, and they spend it blatantly on our assured destruction, while leveling more taxes and more fines against the citizens to pay for their treachery and their debauchery. We need less government, more goodwill. Goodwill. It's not a concept, people. It's a way of life. Goodwill. Brotherly love. A sense of community. It's time we remembered what it means to be an American, what it means to be a patriot, because we have become a country run by terrorists. I say it is time we change that. If you're still listening, thank you. Share if you were smart enough to listen all the way through with an open mind. And whether or not you think I'm right, share. If you're ready to get involved, you know, the best thing I can do is find more like-minded people. Brainstorm. Get together and find more people. Get yourselves a communal workspace, a communal living space. Grow your own food. Live simply, live for yourselves. The more independence we can gain from our government, the more self-reliant we can become, the more we can achieve and accomplish without their aid, the more we can teach people, the more we can expand and show the government that we don't need anyone to take anything from us, that we can work together, that we can be more as individuals and as a collective. We don't need the fear and the warmongering and the corrupt officials that we put into power. It's time we took them down. It's time we took them out. It's time we got back to who we are. And that doesn't include a bunch of suits who've never lived a day in our lives telling us anything about what we can or cannot do or how much we owe them because they exist and because we live here. This is our time. This is our country. Let's fix it. Let's start working on the global damage we have done. Repopulating rainforests, starting hemp forests. If you've gotten to the end of this, share it. Thank you. Orlando Blaze, out.